everyone. Good evening, Barak and Miguda. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How is your evening?
Very well.
Okay, that's good to hear. Miguda, how are you doing?
Niko vyema, nashukuru
Ehe,
Mola. Jioni
mm,
yangu iko vyema kabisa,
mm.
labda ya kwako
Mi
na
niko
Baraka.
vizuri. Kwa kwangu mimi niko vizuri, ilhali sijui Barak naye ako vipi?
Pia mimi niko salama nashukuru.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. Today we want to discuss about this issue of impeachment. And this one has brought me to think of something we call negotiated democracy, whereby you find that democracy are always negotiated. Because like I feel that if members of the county assembly, they had issue with the leadership of Sakaja, they could have table the impeachment motion and make sure that Sakaja answers to those maybe accusations that they're leveling against him. But what we saw yesterday, especially, took a different turn because we saw the UDA county assembly members reported to had a meeting in State House as the ODM MCA also had a meeting with the Right Honorable Prime Minister to see on how to avert the impeachment or tabling of the motion to impeach why I keep on Rigathi Gachagua, I don't know why, to impeach Sakaja as a Nairobi County boss. And this is politics, you know. And when the interests are so high, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and William Ruto could not allow, Sakaja to be impeached. And now we want to look at what could be the reason and why. Why was the MCA talked to avert the tabling of that impeachment? To begin with you, Barak, what do you think? What do you think the two principals decided to call their foot soldiers so that they can talk to them and tell them to slow down on the impeachment of Sakaja as the county boss of Nairobi?
Thank you so much, Ben, for that. And I think as we discussed this, it's very interesting because we discussed this yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like we were foreseeing what will happen today,
Mm-hmm.
because Sakaja is one of the loyalists of the broad-based government, and Nairobi being one of the significant stronghold of the broad-based government,
Yeah.
they need to have someone who is a loyalist. And remember, Sakaja also controls resources of the county. And remember, the senator ni mwana mpotevu. And
Yeah.
now they need to rely on the governor who has pledged loyalty and who has managed to mobilize the ground. Anytime Ruto is visiting Nairobi, Sakaja has done a very good job in terms of mobilization and so on and so forth. So they could not allow to lose a loyal foot soldier like Sakaja in Nairobi, having in mind that Nairobi is very significant politically,
Yeah.
especially if you want to be at the hill of at the house of at the hill. And also for Raila Odinga, Nairobi is very important. And remember, it is ODM that has a majority of the MCAs in Nairobi City County. And Sakaja is also is also a very smart politician. Remember when he became the governor and he realized that ODM had the majority, he was the first person to reach out to ODM, because like he was foreseeing a scenario where an impeachment might come on
Yeah.
his way. And when he reached out to ODM, since then they've been buddies with Raila Odinga, and he has been and even Raila has been having a soft spot for Sakaja, even
Mhm.
though members of his party have been trying to eye this seat.
Yeah.
So I think for Raila Odinga and for William Ruto, Nairobi is very important for them, and
Yeah.
the key person to ensure that their interest in Nairobi is protected is only Johnson Sakaja. So that is why they must protect him at all costs.
Okay, thank you so much. And Miguda, maybe as you also give your view, if you can talk about the negotiated democracy, because like I feel that everybody has that democratic right, especially even the member of a county assembly, to hold especially the governor to accountable. But if it reaches that point whereby now they want to hold him to accountable by bringing this impeachment motion, you see especially the principals, that is the Right Honorable Prime Minister and President William Ruto, are calling their footstool, and they say that, you need to slow down on this. And I remember very well Aladwa, the chairman for ODM, especially Nairobi branch, was telling them they've given him 1 month to see on how to correct on the issues that have been raised by the members of county assembly. But he has been for 3 years. These complaints maybe have accumulated for 3 years. So what is convincing us, or what is going to convince the members of county assembly, that within this 1 month, something that you've been complaining for 3 years, that you're going now to complete it in the next 1 month, and about the negotiated democracy?
Thank you. I just wanted to focus on the negotiated democracy in that context.
Mm.
You understand, when Raila Odinga met the ODM MCS today, there were even Jubilee MCS and Wiper MCS inclusive in that meeting.
True.
And they had some issues whereby they were allowed to speak and lay down their issues why they want to impeach Governor Sakaja. Of course, they had some allegations, I think around 27, but they have collected already up to 80 signatures. So it was something that was real.
Yeah.
And it also forced the party leader to intervene, because you understand the majority are ODM. And
Yeah.
he had to intervene. That's why he convened that meeting to allow them to speak, then also allow governors to. You understand, even governor respond to some issues. So to me, I can say it forces the party to come and salvage the impeachment of the governor, because you understand it is the role of the MCS to do so.
Yeah.
But now the party leader has a very great influence into the county assembly, because you understand the majority of the county assembly are the ODM people. Then from there, he was going to meet the UDA MCS. Remember, UDA MCS were missing in action. But from that meeting, he was said to meet the UDMCA. So I believe that he had the same message to the UDMC, so that they can agree unanimously as the majority that now we are going to drop this impeachment going forward, because they want to salvage Sakaja. Remember, Sakaja is an UDA governor. He was elected on UDA. Right now, there's a structured working arrangement between ODM and UDA. And Raila being the party of ODM, he can also as well represent president when it comes to the issues through the negotiated democracy, whereby we have agreed to work with you people, and our people have agreed to drop the impeachment and their signature. You too, we appeal to you to drop. That's how I'm looking at it, that there's arrangement whereby they have come to salvage the governor, and this arrangement is very serious going forward. They are going to work. And I just want to mention one thing when I want to go down into politics, because Sakaja, as a governor of Nairobi, is a beneficiary. The ODM, Raila and Ruto are beneficiaries of him being governor of Nairobi. Them being beneficiaries in terms of resources and mobilization, and even going towards 2027. Then you understand, even these things they have laid about impeaching, just about corruption. But the question we're asking, who benefits from these corruptions? If they are the bigwigs, who benefit? Then they have a duty to also protect their loyal person on the ground. That's why I believe that it was a good idea by the people, by the MCS, to exercise their duty. But with that command whereby we elected you in our party. I remember these MCs also want to get their second term, some of them. So you have to align with the party position. Those things we have been saying, that aligning the party positions, being loyal to the party leader, being loyal to the party, for you to survive in politics. But those rebels, you can now look at the way things are moving. Raila is likely going to support Sakaja in the forthcoming election, because they can negotiate that. Okay, I saved you when you are almost going to be impeached. You can come to my, they will give certificate, because this is the party we saved. So I think going forward, I'm still believe that ODM, UDA are in a working arrangement even post 2027.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And this is what Laban Misiani. Thank you so much for joining. And this is what Laban Misiani says that, Brother Ben, this was just nothing but a Gachagua making impeachment. That's why it was very easy to be dropped. Okay. Thank you so much for your uh, view on the impeachment of of Sakaja, that the Right Honorable Prime Minister has ordered the ODM MCAs, especially from Nairobi, to drop that impeachment for at least 1 month if Sakaja would change on some of the issues they were raising. And Barak, I want you to give us your view here in terms of politics. We know Babu Owino also is somebody that is being mentioned about to run for governorship of Nairobi. So many people are encouraging him to do so. And now you see these two principles, despite the fact that there are so many challenges that Nairobi County is going through, but they can still come and see a way of salvaging or a way of averting that intention. What message should Babu Owino read from this?
Well, Babu Owino should read clearly that he does not stand a chance to vie in 2027 under ODM ticket. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Because Raila is embracing Sakaja's leadership in Nairobi, and most probably they will negotiate how to support Sakaja in 2027, so that it might also be a deal between ODM and UDA, which is in the offing. And so if Babuin wants to run, he has to maybe to go it as a independent candidate, or join a different party, or even form his own political party and tries to see whether he can manage to win through that means. And if we look at Nairobi County objectively,
Yeah.
we'll realize that there is no governor who will ever work to satisfy the expectation of Nairobians,
Yeah.
not under the current arrangement of the constitution. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya, and I think it is important for us to understand that the way devolution was structured, it was to disadvantage Nairobi as the capital of Kenya. Therefore, when Uhuru tried by orchestrating the removal of Sonko and introducing what was called, I don't know, was it Nairobi Metropolitan?
Yeah, Metropolitan, yeah, yes.
Yeah. And during that time, it was seen as something was happening during that short period. And people saw some dispensaries being constructed, some bus park being constructed, and even the CBD, it was beautified a little bit. And you remember, even it is during that time that the uplifting of the facelifting of Uhuru Park happened during that time. So I strongly believe that if we analyze this Nairobi County objectively, we will always be blaming every governor that comes in, because the structures that are there are not working in favor of the county. It is almost impossible to work to the satisfaction of the residents. Therefore, I think it is always good to have a relook of the county government of the county, city county of Nairobi, to see whether it can be run by the national government, so that Nairobians get the services that they deserve. But under the county, the devolved structures, I don't think we will ever have a governor who will satisfy the people of Nairobi. And that's why we might end up be having only one-time governor, because they cannot work to satisfy Nairobians.
Okay, thank you. And be good that if you look at what is happening, because we know that Nairobi has been having so many challenges, ranging from garbage collection, ranging to the leadership and the corruption that has always been especially mentioned, and some of the issues that they are mentioning, like there's the lack of communication between the governor and the MCA. And where is the people here? Because like the people who are feeling these challenges, they are the people who are working for. They have representative, and the representative feel that, okay, now our people are not getting the services that they're supposed to get, just because we question the role of your leadership. And now it is coming and say that, okay, we need to hold this. Where is the voice of the people?
The voice of the people of Nairobi, usually you can hear them during elections, because
Yeah.
each and every election there's a new person with the new ideas. People embrace, and people vote for that person massively. Just to give you the example, look at how Kidero was embraced, Sonko was embraced, and right now Sakaja was embraced. So there's always a popular leader each and every election.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how you get there, but now services delivered to the people. That's where there's always,
Mm.
that's where the rubber usually meets the road. So I say Nairobi, I can say there are some issues or some challenges
Mm.
which are very, very significant. For instance, the issue of garbage I've talked about, the issue of water, the issue of housing, also the issue of electricity. So those things are very, very, they are very, very pressing issues, I can say, in the city. So if you're a governor, even the issue of road in some constituencies, even some wards in Nairobi, we have some bad roads. So if you are, that's what I was saying, that issue of roads in Nairobi or infrastructure is vested with the care and not county and Kura. So they should go to Kura and care about, they should not disturb the county government. And he was
Yeah.
trying to defend that. So I believe that those issues like infrastructure, garbage, water, more so particularly, if you can actually raise those concerns to the people,
Yes.
I think you're going to be someone who's going to work for the people. But from time immemorial, and since we have this devolution, there have been those issues. Some people do focus on market, maybe stadium, like Soko focus on a certain stadium, and also issue of market. And even when we had the fire at Toy Market, Sakaja went there and so contributed to the people. So I believe Nairobi also is a cosmopolitan, and you can, it has its dynamics of politics, because sometimes I can vote in Nairobi in 2013, then 2017 I'm voting at home, depending on transfer of the work, or maybe I've decided to go home, or maybe there are many things you can find. Maybe like I voted in Mcas East in 2017. In 2022 I want to buy now. It forced back to go back to home, or maybe voted because we are voting for Babu Owino from campus. Now the interests of the homeless were never served at that constituency level. He forgot us. He went to serve the master Raila Odinga, and also he went to serve the ODM party. Now we were dissatisfied. We went back to other camps, and also remember even Sonko. The very goons today are supporting Babu Owino. These are goons who supported Sonko. Then they supported Sakaja. Now they have shifted their allegiance to Babu Owino. So it's something that I can't just conclude that it's a systematic issue, but to some extent, it's very dynamic, and also you can find out that. But what I can just say, other than the voice of the people might push you. You might be popular, but on the ground, you might not work for the people. You can come that wave of the popularity, and that's why we end up calling these things of impeachment, because you came as a popular candidate.
Yeah.
But on the real issues, you are not having any intention to solve the pending issues the way I've just said it for you. So I also see a scenario whereby there's a problem with the Babu candidate in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Because independence, it's not easy for you to be elected on an independent ticket. Even those people who have money, they can tell it's not very easy. But if you can, because it's like me, I'm seeing a scenario whereby Raila decided to avoid him and allowed him to do politics the way, if he cannot, because Raila is also someone, Raila is also a stubborn person. Because if you cannot listen to me, then do your things your way. I'll not follow you. Because like Babu is not ready to listen to Raila, he's not ready to submit to the ODM party. Now you can say, okay, if that's the case, do your politics your way, and if you can succeed by yourself, so be it. But as for me, I'm not subscribing to your ideologies. I think that one can work, because right now, if you can see Raila finding time, today is on Tuesday, to convene a meeting for ODM to salve Sakaja, Raila means business when it comes to that county, and he's not going to give him to that person. So I think it's high time, because like me, I could advise that even if I disagree with you today, Benson or Barack, that I've come back and apologize,
Yes.
will not make me a woman, or will not kill me politically, because it's high time for him to re-strategize and come back to it. Also, it doesn't matter. I don't need to be a governor. I
Yeah.
can also retreat back to my constituency. I become a member of parliament
Yeah.
because there are many things. Because if you look at the future is bright. But this future which is bright, it needs a lot of sacrifice also. So and it doesn't mean that for you to become the president, you must be a governor. Even Ruto was never a governor. Uhuru was never a governor. Right now, Rigathi Gachagua is one of the contestants. He has never been a governor. Kalonzo has never been a governor. So to me, if you want to build your leadership,
Yes.
it is always good to be in parliament. And at parliament, that's where you can be, you can do a lot of your, I think that's why you can gain more experience as you come up as a. So to me, I just say sometimes it requires a little bit of wisdom to sacrifice some of your ambitions for a greater future.
Okay, Barak, Meguda, thank you so much. Barak, such like issues, especially when it comes to impeachment, and you see the principal calling their foot soldiers out there in the public, people talk of transactional politics, whereby there must be a token that has been given, especially to silence you. And if you go to the Twitter, there are quite a number of people who have raised, and they're quoting some figures on what was given to what is going to be given to the county member of assembly, just to make sure that you don't go on with impeachment. And even to the principal also, they usually say that there must be some favors or some money that can be given to make sure that you silence that, so you oil it, or you tend to give the MCA some token. And if to say that, if that is case, so you look at what is given the vis-a-vis maybe what the revenue the county is losing in corruption web, if corruption was among those other the accusation they are going to label, you look at what is given to silence you and what is going to the corruption. And the same time we are saying we are fighting corruption. Do you see in a situation whereby as a country we will first of all get good leadership and also fight corruption, and till we live in a free corruption zone?
The problem starts with the with the voters, the Kenyans themselves, those who are complaining too much.
Yeah.
They are the genesis of that problem, because you elect a leader who is rogue, a leader who is corrupt, a leader who believes in transactional politics. And then when they are now doing that transactional politics,
Yeah.
you start complaining that now that is corruption. So even the MCAs, they initiated the impeachment motion with the expectation that they will be given something so that they can back off. That was expected. And
Yes.
maybe they've tried to reach out to Sakaja in one way or another. Akakuwa mjeuri. Wakasema, okay, let us try now impeaching him. Now atatutafuta yeye mwenyewe. And you see, he went there. And it is in the public domain. You don't need rocket science to know that they were given something to silence them. So the problem starts with electing the wrong people in office. Then they start leading the wrong way. Then they have to buy their way to sustain their leadership, to sustain themselves until the end of the term. Then they will use some money to buy you to elect them again, and the cycle continues. Yeah. So I think it is just a matter of Kenyans assessing themselves how they vote, so that they avoid these problems going forward. Because we cannot claim that we are going to fight corruption, yet we elect wrong people in office. People who are perpetuating the same corruption that we are claiming we want to fight. It's not possible. It's not practical.
Yeah, and Barak, let me just bring you to maybe to give you like scenarios. We saw the impeachment of Kawira Mwangaza. She went through a lot. The first one she survived. I think the second one she was impeached, and you look at now what is happening, or what has happened in various impeachment cases, whereby they've reached the Senate for final nail onto the head to complete that impeachment motion or impeachment, but like there are those that they intervene. So it means that when impeachment is yet to happen, the bigger principles, they play a bigger role, and they decide who should go and who should not go.
Let me just remind you that Kawira Mwangaza survived 2 impeachments.
Yeah. Okay.
He was
Thank you.
impeached the third attempt.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the dynamics of Meru County and Nairobi County, Nairobi County is very strategic.
Yes.
Remember, even when Governor Mutai was being impeached in KARIBU County, Ruto did not intervene. He did not even call those MCAs to talk. Then remember that is Kalenjin land.
Yeah.
I believe those people could have listened to him the first day, but he just decided to stay away. But how comes he's now stepping in Nairobi before even the MCAs can table the impeachment motion? So it tells you the importance of Nairobi County. Kawira Mwangaza, they tried to do what we call local arrangement, sending the deputy speaker of the Senate to try that way. But they said she was not ready to listen to anybody. She believed that she's governor and nobody else should instruct her to do anything. And with the social cultural dynamics of the Meru County, where women have not really been elevated to accepted as leaders
Yes.
like other parts of the country. So many things played out in Meru County as opposed to other counties. And we also look at Isiolo County. The governor was just impeached the other day, and no principal intervene. So you look at the importance of Nairobi County and the politics of Nairobi County, and how these principals must step in to ensure that they stamp the authority, to ensure that the Nairobi County is within the broad-based government. So that is why it was very important for them to come in and provide leadership, so that these issues does not escalate to Parliament, because it was obvious that Sakaja was going to be impeached, and that impeachment could have gone to Senate, and it could have reignited the politics of the country, because this is the capital city, and stakes are very high.
And maybe before I bring in Miguda, there's also those who are having this opinion that who is the deputy president? I mean, the deputy usually come from central Kenya. So they were also looking at that tribal angle in a bigger lens. If you lens it, I mean, that tribal angle was also being quoted as, no, we need not to do this because the deputy speaker comes from central and now is going to be the governor if in case Sakaja is impeached. Do you think that one also could have played a part when such decisions were being made?
But the MCs have the numbers. They could even impeach all of them.
Yeah.
Mushiri is not a politician. He was picked from the banks and from the corporate world, and he was brought in. So, but we've not seen him really. I don't know. He has played cool. He has not come out even to be very vocal in terms of politics of Nairobi. He has allowed Sakaja to play politics, and he has stayed back in the office to do one or two things. So I think if the principals were adamant, let me just clarify something here. For a governor to be impeached, with the exemption of Meru County with Kawira Mwangaza, normally it is the principals who decide that we need this guy out of office. If you look at the case study of Mike Sonko and Ferdinand Waititu, because those were the only impeachment that was successful. And the president then, Uhuru Kenyatta, had a hand in those two impeachment. And because of the interests that were there, the interest of Nairobi County and also the interest of Kiambu County. And other impeachment have gone to the Senate, and even others, the Senate has even impeached. Like, for example, Martin Wambora was the first governor to be impeached, and he ended up serving his full two terms. He was successfully impeached by Parliament, by his Senate. Remember, even the Wajir governor was impeached, and his deputy was sworn in. But the High Court reinstated him, and he went back to office, and he served his full term. So it is only Nairobi and Kiambu who have successfully lost a governor through impeachment, and now. So if principals are not involved, I can assure you that you'll go home. Because even if they don't get involved at the local level, at the county level, when the impeachment comes to the Senate, they have their foot soldiers there, and they will ensure that they save this guy or the guy goes home straight.
Yeah, thank you. Because you just reminded me about that, and it's also bringing the picture of Anne Waiguru. Remember, Anne Waiguru was almost going home, during her impeachment. but I think he got some assistance from Baba, and the Senate did not impeach her, So it means now the political bigwigs, especially in the country, they play major role, especially in determination of what is going on. Even in these counties, they know when to push the buttons and when not, and who to be impeached and who not to be impeached. So that, and where is that one now putting on, when you're now looking at the devolution, because the impeachment is that one way of creating accountability, and the devolution is telling that you're not working. So where does it put on the accountability, the rule of law, and all that? Where does it?
Uh, you know, impeachment are political processes,
Yeah.
and sometimes they are more political than the allegations that are labeled against these individuals.
Yep.
Sometimes, because every politician in this country, akona makosa. It's like a traffic police stopping a vehicle on the road. Gari lazima itakuwa na kadosari hapa na pale. So mtu asemanga tu acha nimpatie hii mimi niende. Sitaki kwa mambo mingi, because if he start now analyzing your vehicle, you will find a fault somewhere, and you will be taken to court. So sometimes these impeachments, you find that a governor has differed with the county members of county assembly, maybe because they were demanding an allowance to do one or two things. I don't know if you remember the case of Deritu Mureithi, not Deritu Mureithi, Deritu Gashagwa, now the brother to Gashagwa, when he was the governor of Nyeri County, how the MCAs were blackmailing him so that they can pocket a lion's share of allowances. And the same case with Kivuta Kibwana professor in his first term in Makueni as a governor. It was an extent that even shots were fired in his meeting, and people had to run for their dear life. And Kibwana recommended to the president to dissolve the county government of Makueni so that they can go back to election. Because sometimes the MCAs can collude to blackmail the governor so that they can hold the governor at ransom and siphon the county money. So once the governor remains adamant, they impeach him. So that's why you find sometimes they come to the Senate and they struggle to present their case because there are no substantial issues. Yeah. So I think the bar to remove a governor was lowered so much to an extent that it is being abused. Yeah. And this abuse also is one way of corruption. So once we have substantial issues that you find that governors maybe violated the constitution, either he has involved himself in corrupt activities that are beyond reasonable doubt. But in most instances, we have not seen this. So you find that it has always been a political gimmick between the MCAs and the governor. And now the Senate comes in as a referee to ensure that the playing ground has been leveled. So when you come to the issue of accountability, you find that accountability is raised at the county level when the MCAs are not satisfied by whatever they are receiving. Yeah, because for example, the county government of Nairobi.
Yeah.
Since the governor was sworn in 2022, we've not seen any substantial services being delivered to the people of Nairobi County. And every financial year, they are receiving money from the national government to offer services. We've seen challenges with education. We've seen challenges with the healthcare services. We've seen even the mess in the CBD. Yeah, from garbage collection to the confusion with the public transport. We've seen even the border sector going rogue, and there is no order even within the CBD. There is no order. Kenya being a capital city and being a regional hub, I think CBD ought to have some order. So when it comes to accountability, and Raila always claims that he is the father of devolution.
Yeah.
And he fights to protect devolution. And even it's alleged that for him saying that governor should be given this NGCDF It is because he wants governors to receive the lion's share of the funds,
Of the
so that
funds.
he can have a bigger bargaining power when it comes to who receives what.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you find that he has always been on the receiving end for protecting the so-called corrupt governor. Remember the Waiguru case that we have mentioned,
Mm.
and you know, the Waiguru case was very unique because when he was being elected, the electorate were saying that our thief, our choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they elected him, knowing that he's a thief, and now they started complaining that funds are being stolen from the county government, and now they want to impeach him. Now the same person who was saying that Wagelu is a thief is one
Yeah.
now who is wanasema alipewa mwisho moja. And I remember Orengo was the chair of that committee
Yeah.
that sanitized Waiguru, and when he went back to Kirinyaga, the same people gave him a second term. So you wonder.
Mhm.
Where is really the problem? Because that was his first term, and the
Yeah.
same electorate gave him a gave her a second term. So accountability for me, I think, should start by the electorates themselves,
Okay.
because we
Mhm.
cannot trust political leaders to do accountability for us. So when we
Yeah.
are going to the polls, when we are going to elect these leaders, can we really do some kind of background check? Because
Mm.
we are electing leaders knowing very well that they are corrupt. And when they start stealing, because you know, a thief will not stop stealing when they are given position. In fact, they will steal more. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So I think it will start with us,
Yeah.
and the EACC and IB for clearing. I think they've been so reluctant. They've
Mm.
not been very effective, and so I think it's just the people themselves to save themselves from this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barack. And MC Apopsi MOU is saying Nairobi is messing and Raila is benefiting from the messiness. His pockets are full. And that is when you go to the comments, and you know, the funny part of it is that when you go to comments, nobody says something very positive, especially the Right Honorable Prime Minister meeting the members of County Assembly, especially going towards the Rigathi Gachagua, I mean, like Sakaja, and people are just talking about the corruption, and people are blaming the Right Honorable Prime Minister for that. When you go to the comment section, I don't know why. And like Miguda, do you think it is that time that especially Kenyans should start to initiate such like impeachment should be given to Kenyans themselves now to collect the signatures, and instead of impeachment, and it's just you recall, because like when it comes to impeachment, going with what we are seeing, it will be not be possible, especially even if it is true that you are not doing a good job, or it is true that there's a corruption allegation that has been laid against you, and you have the bigger politicians who are behind you, you know, you cannot get impeached. Now we look at it, should we now give the citizen the opportunity to recall even the governors instead of going through the impeachment, because it's a political, and at the long run it might be saved at the county assembly or at the Senate?
So some of these proposals are not easy to implement because the nature of the country, the diverse nature of our country, and also the processes and the constitution we are having. Because if you take that part of the people, and after collecting the signatures, where are they going to take the signatures for verification? Because there must be a certain commission to verify signatures. That commission can be compromised. That's where the problem is. The other time, we tried and collect some signatures to, I don't know whether to amend the constitutional work. There was, before BBI, there was the other one we tried to collect signatures, and we collect 1 million+ signatures. I think that time people were in NASA, in COD, I think.
Yeah.
So when they collected 1 million+ signatures, it was taken for the verification at the IBC. You find out the IBC were reporting that people draw elephants, people draw animals on the instead of signature, people are drawing animals. So they never met the threshold for constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
How sure are you that people drew those animals, or how sure are you that verification was transparent and open? So to me, even if we take it back to the people, there are some commissions, so there are some institutions whereby if you take the verification, they can be still compromised. The corruption we are talking about here, the corruption Apopsi is talking about here. This corruption thing, when you take to the people, yes, so I believe that the nature of diversity and also the nature of opponents, fans, maybe you are like what happened to Rigathi Gachagua. During public participation, it forced the ODM MPs in Nairobi to come together. So TJ Kajwang, Elachi, Oluoch, and Madwa, they were the leading people with their fan base. Some people came as far as from Madari for that public participation. Then you ask yourself, why the people for Gakuya in the Mcas North? Why can't you bring the Gakuya people to participate in the public? So sometimes if you try to make it look like you want to be a little bit Democrat or a little bit liberal, you might not achieve whatever you want. That's why the people saw it was to give that mandate to the MCS in the county level and to give that mandate to the MPs into the National Assembly because they are our representatives. But in that representation, you find out that it is that right today we understand it's a political process, the impeachment. It's a political process. That's why it forced the party leader to convene the political parties, members, the MCS, to halt that impeachment because a party can make a decision like what ODM and the UDA made that we must impeach on these grounds, and they did it successfully. Also, a party can decide, okay, let us sit down and look at the grounds for impeachment. Then we can decide whether to impeach him or not. So I think even though it looked like the sovereign power just delegated to the elected leaders has been misused, but the same sovereign power can be misused by the people. And you ask yourself, who are these people you call the sovereign? Because in my composition, maybe if I'm the area member for, let me say, Stare constituency, and I can't say that the Stare people. How do you know that maybe the Stare constituency, there are Kikuyus who are not agreeing with my manifestos, or there are Luos who are not agreeing with my manifestos? Then the Masais are accepting my. So if you say the people of Stare, who do you believe? What is the proportion of the people? Who are these one who want Sakaja? Maybe the people might not want Sakaja to go. Maybe. But MCS wants Sakaja to go. So after impeaching the people's governor, how are you going to explain to the people what happened? Because you understand, even when the Kachaka was being impeached, that the people who are saying we don't want him to impeach, and that the people who wanted him to impeach. So you can say, okay, the people refuse that Gachagua should not be impeached. Now he's in office. If you go to Mount Kenya, a good number wanted him to be in office. So you can say, okay, it's only the Mount Kenya who are the people, or that's why it was decided. Let us give this power to the representation, because at the county assembly of Nairobi, we have different people. We can't have a certain tribe alone. There are different people from different tribes. Even in our national assembly, we have different people from different tribes. So I think that impeachment process, let it just vest with the delegated power in the National Assembly and also into the county assemblies. But we must understand that it is a political process.
Okay, now let me read for you something here. I'm getting this from this is what added, and I want to know. Okay, we agreed to shelve the plan to impeach Sakaja for now. After the meeting with our party leader, we will review the outcome after 1 month. Nairobi West MC Rex Omole said so. Omole added, we had a candid discussion and Mzee agreed with us that the grounds to impeach governor was strong. However, he advised against instability in the city and impeachment, which will be seen as a win for the Rigathi Gachagua led opposition. You see that? So according to the member of county assembly, it was also seen that if the impeachment goes through, it is for it will look at a win for especially the Rigathi Gachagua. But now when you listen to a county member of assembly saying something like that, Mr. Barak, now where is the win for the people? And that's where I keep on coming from, because now you're talking of somebody, a competitor, you see that that is going to be a win for him. But there are people out there who sometimes are missing clean water. The people who out there maybe they're not getting services delivery, because that is all about leadership. But you forgo all that and say that, okay, because it is going to be seen as a win for the united opposition that is headed by Rigathi Gachagua, so we need not to do it. So where is the people here?
The people are always on the menu. So that is why we usually advise people, when you're going to vote, vote wisely.
Yeah.
Because once you vote in wrong leaders, you become the menu, you are eaten, you are forgotten. Because leaders, when they are fighting for their survival,
Yeah.
they don't think about you. They think about how to survive.
Mm.
And even when they're thinking about you, they think about you as a commodity. Yeah, not as a human being who is needing services, who needs water, who needs clean water, who needs health services, who needs education. No, they are thinking about, they are keep thinking about you as a commodity. How can we use you to achieve our political objectives? Yeah. So what wanapangwa hapa na pale, you see, you saw Sakaja coming up with the young men there making noise, and then they will go home with 1,000 shillings in the evening, sometimes even with 500 in the evening. And they think that now that they are being empowered. You know, I think we have a problem of understanding how politicians are using the masses, because they know that the masses are not enlightened, the masses are not aware of even what rightfully belongs to them. And that's why you see MCAs are transacting with the governor, with the party leaders, the exchanging hands are exchanging something on it, and now they are not, and the people have been forgotten. Nobody thinks about them, and they are the people who, and they are the ones who are suffering in all of this. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think it all starts at electing leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Can the people come up and elect the right leaders in office, so that they can minimize the chances of having transactional politics?
Okay, thank you, Barak. And you know what amazes me is with all this going on, and this is what President said. And you know, sometimes I like how sometimes President reasons, but is it reality or it is political or a PR? Because this is what President said. I quote President Ruto: "I am going to go out of my way to make sure we catch up with the Singapore, to catch up with
It,
the Singapore, know where we are." Yeah,
it
and
is music to the it
as
is
we
music.
say that, as we say, we want to catch up with the Singapore. What is happening? You're negotiating again. You're telling your foot soldier, no, drop the 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 uh the impeachment motion, especially against what you know. How can we reach there? Surely.
You know, Ruto knows music to the ears of the listeners, and you know, taking Ruto seriously, I think you must have a problem, because even how he he crafted his way into office, and how he was talking so nicely to the listeners, until people believed that he is among the poorest of this country, and elected him. So, you know, talking about Singapore, and you know, we've been comparing Kenya with Singapore, Kenya with South Korea, without understanding the dynamics of these two different countries. If you look at Singapore, even the size of the country, even the geographical area of Singapore, and even the people, and even the leadership style, the culture of the people of Singapore, there is nowhere you can compare that with Kenya, because you know, for you to compare, you must have some basis of comparison. You must have some similarities to compare. So we usually talk about, you know, politicians. It is very romantic to mention Singapore and Kenya in the same sentence, because we are saying, oh, Singapore was a third world country, and now they are among the developed countries. But now they are not telling you how that happened. They not just sleep and wake up a developed countries. There was some work that was put in place, and there was some leadership that was there, and there was some structures and culture of these people that allowed them to take themselves out of third world, or out of being developing country to developed country. Same with South Korea, yeah. And if you go, even if you go there right now, you will see that you are in a different country with people who are practicing a different culture, yeah. Just last year, South Korea impeached a president, yeah, simply because the president was trying to introduce a court martial to civilians. And but people say, no, this cannot happen. And they impeached him, and they was taken to justice judicial system. In Kenya, even impeaching a governor, people align themselves according to their tribal arithmetics. Yeah. And because of corruption, not even at any other thing, corruption. And in South Korea, in Singapore, if you are mentioning corruption, it is better to commit suicide because it is so shameful. But to us, if you're mentioning corruption, in fact, it is a ticket to be re-elected. People will re-elect you. If a governor is mentioning corruption, you will say that this is political witch hunt. Yeah, they want to finish us. They don't want that to. They don't want our people to access resources. And if you go to the same country they were mentioning, if you are mentioning corruption, you commit suicide because of the shame that's with corruption. So we are total different societies, and even our growth level cannot be the same. And with the structures that are operating in Kenya, you cannot compare with the structures that are operating in Singapore. So Ruto will say anything that is sweet to your ear, that will make you clap and cheer, but even himself is not convinced of what he's saying.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barack, for mentioning that, because when you look at the history of Singapore and how did Singapore come to be, like everywhere, you find that majority of the time we are mentioning Singapore, even in our political cap. I don't think this is the first time that president is mentioning about, like, if he becomes, it will put the Singapore where Kenya, where the Singapore is. It cannot, in the real sense. One, it is that we thrive on corruption. You look at even people that we elect, even come to the voters too. So it is not him who should make sure that he's the driver who's going to make sure that people Kenya reach to the Singapore level. It is the people also, the people that you are leading. Look, for example, on how things happen, and maybe maybe Miguda also can assist me. Sometimes you find that we collect taxes, and the taxes are being collected, but look at what happens. The money that is the MPs are walking around with to give them back to the people in terms of empowerment. And it's all about Arambe. How can you reach that? He's talking about 3 to 5 weeks that we should not import basic needs. If the production is low, you produce very less, especially basic commodities, things like flour, the things that can be eaten. You produce less rice, you produce less maize, you produce less cassava. In terms of agriculture, your production is low and you have high taxes. What happens is that the cost of living will not go down, because one, you will be importing. And as you import, you are going to import at a higher cost. And for you to realize your profit, you have to charge it very highly. So which makes it very difficult, especially for low income earners, especially, or those who do not have like regular income to buy those products. So the cost of living is going to be high. Look at what is happening in the majority of the ministry. Look even what happened with the Shah. When I saw Duale brought in the files and said that I'm giving them to the police. How can you give them, and where this money was paid? What do you want to investigate if you know that there's a hospital maybe in such a which non-existing, it has account, it has been paid? What do the police do? So going to Singapore is not a walk in the park, Mr. President. It will take you years and years, because we thrive, our country thrive on corruption. To me, that was, I think, I'm not telling people who believe that it is possible. It is possible, but not with our country. Miguda, what do you think?
We could be in Singapore long time ago, if that is the case. We could be in Singapore, I think even by the time we got our independence, the first cabinet of the first government, we have 30th government, even at seventh government, we could be in Singapore. But it is impossible because that custom we have as a country, the culture of stealing from the public coffers, the culture of electing thieves, and the culture of embracing corruption in the country. I think it's something that is tradition in this country, and that's why we are where we are today. And if you are the person who has been accused of the high priest of corruption in this country, you are leading from front in corruption, then you want to has to go to Singapore. But you understand also that is political statement. There are people who actually believe. There are people, you might not believe Mr. President, or you might not believe what Ruto is telling people. But there are people who believe that the right thing. They believe that, oh, this is the Messiah. We are going to Singapore. There are people who believe in him, and that's why he continue telling those lies. Because it's like, you understand, when even, I don't want to give, maybe, there are people who believe like certain churches that look at the followers of such, I don't want to mention name, but are followers of certain people in terms of religion. They believe in those people to an extent that even if they are dying, like the issue, let me cite the one which is already investigated, the issue of Mackenzie at Mavueni. The people who are following Mackenzie, even if they were going without food, they believe in him that was heaven. They were going to heaven direct, but that wasn't the reality. So you understand the way those people believe in Mackenzie, to an extent they can die for the fake heaven. In the same way, even in this political environment, it's very diverse. I actually believe in it diverse because what I might understand is not the same way Barack or you can understand. We are different in terms of understanding things or in terms of thinking. So that masses, if you tell them that, like what he said in Isaiah, he was talking about, I don't know about the water, you're going to get water direct from dam, which is, I don't know, automatic dam. There are people who believe that it is true. We are going to Singapore. And by the time Ruto is going out of those 10 years, we are in Singapore. And that's the reality. So those people, they are many, they're the majority. And that's why when he's speaking, he knows his audience. Not that he's that stupid that he doesn't know. You can differ with him. It's okay. You can say, okay, you are lying, when him to a uongo, but to him, he has communicated to the audience. The audience are content that, okay, we are going Singapore way. But if you go now to our analysis and even what we are trying to do here critically, it is next to impossible because corruption, number one in this country, and also issue of tendering. Now they want to go e-commerce, but the issue of tendering, even that e-commerce, you find that I'm the governor, my company is doing certain roads, my company is doing certain markets. So just corruption revolving around corruption. I'm a governor. I'm taking care of Mr. President. So there's nothing he cannot touch me because I'm taking care of his life. Maybe I'm sponsoring his movement in the country. I'm sponsoring anything he's doing in the corruption field. So if we are serious to go Singapore, there are things that we must understand. Sakaja. Number one, we need to change on our laws whereby we need to tighten that if somebody is corrupt, those people, they have sacrificed. I heard that there are countries whereby if you suspect by yourself you are corrupt, you commit suicide before they come for you. And there are countries whereby you are hanged. Such things, corruption. So, and Kenya, we are very liberal. I can go to court, and from court, I have a right to. I'm presumed to be innocent until contrary is proven. I have a right to representation. I have a right to be heard. I have a right to plead not guilty. You cannot coerce me to plead guilty. I have a right to plead not guilty, and it's up to my defense counsel to prove that I'm not guilty. But also, it's not the role of the judge or magistrate to state that I'm corrupt. It's up, what the magistrates are doing, or the judge, they're doing what we call adversarial, whereby they assist you people to argue your case by yourself. So it's up to you people to decide whether you. So they're just guiding you on the guidelines. So you end up a free person, you contest for MP, you win, then all of a sudden you become the president. So I think we are not yet there. We are not going there. We are where we are.
Okay, so Barak, maybe before you wind up, maybe your last remark when you're looking at on how negotiated, especially democracy, at the expenses of the service that should be done with the people, that everybody can testify, or anybody can testify based on, even like especially those who are living in Nairobi, they have these complaints that they keep on saying about the leadership and management of Nairobi. And I saw the president has given Sakaja almost like 60 days to listen to the members of county assembly, and so that he can deliver this. And you just look at it in wider angle, especially. Do you see that as a country we are making progress in terms of accountability? That is one. Secondly, corruption, and maybe in terms of also the leadership that we usually have, that you can have hope in your country if such like negotiated issues are being done in the boardrooms.
Well, I don't have hope for Kenya.
Yeah.
The main reason why I don't have hope for Kenya is because of the electorates of this country.
Yeah.
How people elect leaders based on emotional manipulation. And the crop of politicians that we have right now, in the name of leaders, they have mastered the art of manipulating the electorates emotionally. And any election that people elect leaders based on the emotional reasoning, they have never ended up with a leader who can transform the society from where they are to the next level.
Yeah.
We end up with leaders who are taking us backwards or are making us stagnant.
Yeah.
And the population keeps on growing. And as the population keeps on growing, and there is no substantial economic development, it means that society is sitting on a time bomb. That's why you will see crime rate is increasing, hopelessness is increasing. Many people are even resigning to going to do manual jobs. Graduates in the Middle
Graduates,
East,
yeah.
they better go there and wash toilets and clean whatever, just to make ends meet, to support themselves and support their families. And yet, we have people who have never seen the four corners of a college earning billions, and in the names of MCAs or members of parliament, simply because they are well connected, or they made some millions, and now they are using that to sustain themselves in the right places.
Right.
So I believe that we have to change, as the population, the masses. We have to change so that we can end up now we can start now electing the right people in offices who can transform our society, because our society is ripe for transformation. Our society is yearning for transformation, but there is nobody who is willing, who is capable to take the initiative to transform this society. Whatever we are having right now, we are just going round in circles, and trying to quote successful countries, trying to cite them as examples, but we don't have any strategy
For
reach where they are. We think that we'll just go to bed and wake up a transformed society. Transformation requires hard work, it requires strategies, it requires sacrifice,
yeah.
and clear vision, and organic vision, where everybody can even own that vision collectively and work toward that vision collectively. But if we are just here and doing the same thing the same way and expecting miracles, then I'm sorry. And even the 2027 election that is coming up, you can just see that Kenyans are just being organized in the same way and expecting that now they will have a good leader. No, you cannot keep on doing the same thing the same way all the time and expect a different result. That's why I'm saying I really sympathize with with this country, because the future of this country is at jeopardy. The future of this country is at stake, and I don't think as Kenyans we realize that. Yeah, and let me tell you, countries that are within our region, like Ethiopia, country like Rwanda, even Tanzania here, that we keep mocking each and every time. In the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we will be saying that hata hawa tulikuwa mbele yao, because they are going to overtake us. They're already on the takeoff. I don't know if you've heard people saying that the plane is already on the runway. You can see how they are organized. Yeah, if they are not disrupted by anything, I can assure you, economically, in the next 20, 30, 40 years, we will not be at the same par with Ethiopia, with Tanzania, and with Rwanda. We will just be left here, maybe competing with Somalia and the South Sudan here, because now hao ndio watakuwa sasa wako rika yetu by then.
Sidhani kama tutakuwa tunashindana nao, tutashindana sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe kutuibia sisi, tutakuwa tunajiibia rasilimali zetu tukijitajirisha sisi wenyewe. Unapata kwamba, kwa sababu unajua mimi swali moja ambayo mimi ninayo ni kwamba mara mingi hata wale mavijana wadogo ambao wamejitokeza kwamba wanataka kuainia nyadhifa mbalimbali, ukikaa nao chini kwa utaratibu na uulize kweli, we bana, we ni jambo gani ama ni kitu gani ambayo unataka kufanyia wakilishi wako, na ni jambo nini aswa inakuleta katika uongozi, kwa kweli utashangaa yale maneno unaambiwa. Kama we ni Mkenya ya kweli, utasema kwamba hatuna imani, si hata tu kwa uongozi wa juu, hata huku mashinani. Wale mavijana ambao wanakuja ni kwamba wanataka kubadilisha, si kubadilisha. Hao hatutaki kubadilisha. Hao wamepata kujua kwamba sehemu sahihi ya kutengeneza mali kwa muda mfupi sana imekuwa ni siasa. Hapo ndio sehemu. Siasa imekuwa ni mahali ambao, yani nikiingia leo, baada ya siku mbili mimi ndakuwa ni mtu ambaye anazungumza katika milioni. Na tumeiona venye watu ambao wanaingia katika siasa, kwa sababu unapata watu wengi saizi waingia katika uongozi wa siasa kwamba wanataka kubadilisha maisha ya wale watu ambao wanaoongoza. Hapana, sijaamini hayo, kwa sababu unapata kwamba maisha yao inabadilika kwa haraka sana kuliko watu ambao ulikuwa unawakilisha. Mr. Miguda, jambo lako la mwisho.
Jambo langu la mwisho ni nataka kuwa mfupi, lakini ningependa kusema hivi. Na kubaliana na wewe ya kwamba katika uwanja wetu wa kisiasa kimeharibika, na wale wakilishaji wetu, ni ukweli ya kwamba siasa ndiyo pali pazuri pa kutengeneza pesa kwa muda mfupi. Lakini ningependa kusema hivi, sisi kama wale viongozi wa kesho, usituharibie sifa ya kwamba tuko na mawazo kamili na wao wametangulia. Mimi naona ya kwamba kuna viongozi tena wadogo ambao bado niseme tu kisiasa hawajakuwa exposed sana. Sasa ukiingia huku utapata wale kutangulia watakuchanua si kwa maneno mazuri, bali maneno na kuiba na kuunda mali. Sasa mimi napenda unapata kuna wale viongozi wachanga wako na nia nzuri na vile wako na mawazo mazuri, lakini wanakuwa influence na wale wakubwa wao. Sasa ningependa kusema hivi. Jambo langu la mwisho. Kama wewe ni kijana chipukizi ambayo kuna vision ya kwamba siku moja utakuwa kiongozi katika nchi, cha muhimu ya kwanza, usiwahi betray wale ambao wamekuchagua. Usiwahi betray wale ambao wamekupatia hiyo sifa. Usiwahi betray wale ambao walikubeba katika kituo cha kupiga kura, wakupeleka bungeni kwa mfano, ama wakupeleka katika eneo gatuzi. Sasa ni jambo muhimu ya kwamba unapata kuna wakati siasa inakuwa kali sana. kama ile wakati wa Jubilee. Ilibidi Raila aenda kaunga mkono William Ruto, na vile vile hata hapo nyuma ameunga Uhuru, Kibaki na Moi. Kuna wakati kwa kali sana. Hata kama umepatikana katika uwanja wa siasa kali kama hiyo. Cha muhimu ni kwamba hata kama umeenda kuunga wale mkono, wale maadui wa wananchi, lakini usiwahi sahau ya kwamba kuna watu uliwacha huko nyuma ambao ulikuwa unawakilisha. Unaweza aenda tu pale alafu utulize hiyo mioto ya kisiasa, lakini baadaye hakikisha kwamba interest ya wale watu walikuchagua lazima uitimize. Hiyo ndio jambo langu la kwanza, lakini I think we'll meet tomorrow. See you next time, people.
Okay, asante sana. Unajua Miguda, jambo kwa nini nilikuwa nasema hivyo? Mi mara mingi nimeona watu wengi ambao wanataka kugombea wanasaidiana wana vijiji, ambapo ni vizuri kusaidia, na hiyo ndio maana nilikuwa na jana tulizungumzia mambo ya uhusiano ya rejesho ama uhusiano ya kubadilishana. Ipo kwa sababu unapata kwamba haya mambo makubwa ambao wanafanya katika vijiji vyetu, wanazifanya, nia yao na madhumuni yao ni kwamba siku moja mimi nitakuwa nimeweza. Sasa unapata kwamba uwezo wangu wa kuchaguliwa ni kwamba mimi jambo ambalo nimefanya katika jamii. Na tuangalii kabisa, huyu jamaa Paulo Baraka alikuwa anasema kwamba tuangalie historia ya hawa watu ni aina gani. Unajua ukiwa katika uongozi inakuja na faida zake, na unapata kwamba faida zake ni mingi, kwa sababu uko na usemi mkubwa sana sana kwa tuseme kwamba pale watu ambao watakuwa natoa maono, unapata kwamba maono yako itakuwa na usemi mkubwa kuliko wale wengine. Labda ukisema leo mimi nataka hii ifanyike, kwa sababu wewe ni kiongozi, inapata inafanyika. Na unapata mara mingi wengi wao wakiingia, unapata kwamba nia yao na madhumuni si kusaidia wananchi, lakini kujitajirisha hao wenyewe.
Ningependa kusema kitu kimoja, tafadhali ukiniruhusu. Dakika moja hapo, na umeleta jambo nzuri sana tena na wewe. Ndiposa mimi nadhani leo hii asubuhi tulikuwa tunafanya mazungumzo na marafiki zangu wengine. Sema ya kwamba hapa nchini unapata, kama sijakuwa mwanasiasa ama kama sijaingia katika uongozi, niko na mali yangu kidogo. Unapata nafanya kampeni zangu, nafanya harambee, napeana bursaries, najenga mabarabara ama mashule, napatia mama leso, napatia mama umbrella, napatia vijana mpira, wale ambao wanacheza mpira. Alafu unapata pengine natumia hata karibu milioni 10 ama milioni 100. Alafu nikiingia pale naenda kurudisha ile pesa yangu ambayo nimetumia katika kampeni. Sasa niposa mimi kutoka kumaliza kusema hivi. Kama uko na nia nzuri ama uko na uwezo ya kuongoza wananchi na uko na mali, hakuna haja utumie mali yako. Juu kwa mfano kama mko watu 10 ambao wanataka kiti ya bunge wa Starehe constituency. Watu ni tunapata tu kiongozi ni mmoja tu ataenda katika bunge. Ninyi wa 9 mtaenda. Sasa hakuna haja utumie pesa zako nyingi hata kama unaenda kuchaguliwa. Mimi naona siasa hizi tunafaa kwa zile siasa za mazungumzo. Unafaa kuambia kwamba ni nini utawafanyia, na aswa wale wanaoenda katika bunge la kitaifa. Pale katika bunge tutapata kwamba mmoja za kazi wanafanya ni kuwakilisha wananchi na kuunda sheria na vile vile pia ku-oversight. Sasa kwa mfano kama naenda ku-oversight, naenda kuunda sheria, naenda kuwakilisha wananchi, haja gani nipeane bursaries, ama haja gani niunde barabara, ama nipeane leso, ama nipeane ili nionge wananchi? Ndiposa mimi naunga mkono mawazo ya Raila Odinga. Ya NGCDF tuitoe kwa bunge. Inapata mtu anatumia pesa nyingi, anajua kwamba kuna NGCDF. Kila mwaka kuna milioni 1. Sasa akitumia leo, baada ya miaka 5 atakuwa na milioni kama 400. Sasa mimi nasema hivi. Uondoe NGCDF na tuondoe hizi pesa nyingi ambao wananchi wanatumia, ili kama mtu kiongozi awakilishe na aunde sheria na oversight. Alafu hapo tutakuwa na nchi nzuri.
Okay. Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu Miguda, na asante sana ndugu yangu Barak. Pia naona ndugu yetu ambaye amepotea sana anaitwa Asili TV bana. Wewe umepotea wapi? Ni takriban sijakuona kwa muda mrefu sana kakaangu. Natumai kwamba uko vizuri, na kesho pia tutakuwa na kipindi kama hichi, tutajadili mambo ambayo inaendelea katika mlingo wa siasa, na najua tutakubaliana na tukuwe na mazungumzo mzuri. Kwa niaba yangu na wenzangu ambao walikuwa na sisi na wale ambao walikuwa natutazama, nachukua fursa hii kuambia asante hadi kesho wakati kama huu. Asanteni sana.